3 years ago, I lived a life that looked very successful on paper. I had a thriving business and successful marriage, but I felt like I was drowning every single day. I was managing my survival and not actually building the life of my dreams. That's when I realized I had to burn it to the ground to start over. If I didn't burn it down, I'd spend the rest of my life exhausted, unfulfilled, and living someone else's dreams. Today, I'm going to break down how I broke the cycle of the 3 toxic habits that I had to completely eliminate and the blueprint that I use to build a life that I love. Oh, honey, I hope that you're ready for this episode. If you are, get your pen, get your Post-it, get your ambition planner, and let's go. Hello, Ambition Babes. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion, also known as the Face of Ambition, across all social media platforms as well as wherever you stream your podcasts. I help women 40 years and older who are on a reinvention journey, who are tired of doing the same old thing the same old way and are ready to break the cycle. But do not worry, honey, if you are not over the age of 40 and the algorithm gods have decided to show you my face, just consider me a bougie auntie who wants to put you on so that you do not have to suffer the same way that I have. And listen, the other day I was listening to a Jazz Turner video and she said something about burning down her old life. And I'm telling you, I shouted. I was like, that's exactly what happened. I had to burn down my old life so that I couldn't keep going back to my same old habits, the things that were comfortable, the things that I were used to. Because if it still existed, I would revisit it. If it still was available, I would try it again. It was comfortable. It was home. It was something I was used to. But the moment that she said you have to burn it down was when I realized I had really changed my life because the old life that I was living no longer existed. I couldn't go back. It wasn't there. It was completely dismantled and torn down. And just like that old rundown Target that used to be in your city, it's now a Whole Foods, Kava, and Chipotle. Honey, if you are tired of repeating the same old habits, this video is for you because I'm about to break down the 3 toxic habits that I kept revisiting, the actions that I had to take to break the cycle, and the exact blueprint that I follow every single day to ensure that I don't try to go back and revisit my toxic traits. Before you can break any cycle or experience real systemic change, you have to reach your breaking point. You have heard individuals say this when it comes to any sobriety, is that everyone has to reach a point where they're done. They don't like it anymore. It does not serve them. It is hurting themselves and others, and they're completely finished. My rock bottom moments was when I continued to step on the scale every single day and it said 230 pounds. I was trying to eat better. I was working out. I had every meal plan known to man, patches, shots, and peels. I had personal trainers come into my house every morning, and yet and still every single day when I stepped on the scale, it said the same old thing. It wasn't until I reached my breaking point and I started being honest with myself that I broke the cycle of overeating and lost over 90 pounds. The other rock bottom that I had to hit was being physically exhausted. I woke up every morning so tired. I was going to bed wired and my body was constantly in a stress mode. My mental overwhelm kept 47 tabs open in my mind all night long. It was at a point where I couldn't focus on anything immediately in front of me. I was constantly replaying all of the things that I needed to do because I was so afraid of forgetting something. And my last breaking point was emotional emptiness. I was achieving goals, but I wasn't celebrating them and they didn't actually fulfill me. I was saying yes to things to feel needed, and I was even setting goals for the validation of others. I was literally setting weight loss and monetary goals to be able to number drop on Instagram. Therefore, when I actually hit those numbers, I wasn't sincerely proud of myself. It wasn't for me, it was for y'all. I was doing it for everyone else, and one day I hit my breaking point. I had never celebrated a single pound that I had lost or a single comma in my achievements because it wasn't for me. I double majored in my undergrad and graduate programs. I've got plaques and certificates and diplomas and certifications all over my walls. But yet I felt empty inside because I was so accustomed to people pleasing that none of them actually meant anything to me. I was doing what I felt like I had to do in order to make more money, to be seen as worthy, to compete, as opposed to realizing that my existence, my knowledge, my wisdom, and my expertise were enough. I finally realized that I was living reactively. I realized that all I was doing was putting out the fires on the habits I really wanted to burn down. I kept saving the habit right before it was completely demolished because it was comfortable, because I was used to it, because that's what everybody else expected of me. Putting out the fire and never letting it burn was the thing that was holding me back. I was successful but not satisfied. I was very busy but not fulfilled. And I was surviving but I was not thriving. So I had two choices to make. I could continue to do the same old thing, the same old way, and expect different results, or I could burn it to the ground and rebuild on a stronger foundation. I'm about to break down the 3 toxic habits that I had to burn, but I want you to pull out your Ambition Planner or that old journal that you bought from TJ Maxx 15 years ago that you've never used. And I want you to identify the toxic habits that you are ready to break the cycle and burn as soon as today. My first habit was neglecting my body. I have been very transparent about my weight loss journey and how long it took me to finally lose the weight. I have seen your positive comments and some of your negative ones, praising or chastising me for being disappointed in myself that it took me almost 3 decades to lose 90 pounds. For me personally, being on any journey for almost 30 years and not getting any results is disappointing. It means you're doing something wrong, honey. You've been diligent and trying all of this time, and yet you've not even come close to success. At this point, the problem is not the goal, the problem is you. And one of the toxic traits that I kept on recycling is I was neglecting my body. I knew all the data, I knew all the tricks, I knew exactly what to eat, I knew all about my fiber, how many macros I should consume, my caloric intake for the day. And although I had all the knowledge, the problem was the application. I was stress eating to cope with my overwhelm. I would skip meals because I was busy and then binge out. I had absolutely no movement routine and I was sitting most of the day. I was treating my body like a machine that didn't need maintenance. And somehow I had tricked myself to believe that my sleep deprivation was a badge of honor. I would literally say things like, girl, all I need is about 4 hours of sleep and I'm good. We do this because we're taught to put everyone else first. We inherit this idea that self-care is selfish. Taking time for yourself, pampering yourself is almost self-centered. We believe that we can push through absolutely anything because we've done it so many times before. But the truth is, you cannot pour from an empty cup, and you can't build a beautiful life in the body that you are neglecting. Habit number 2 that I had to burn to the ground is I had to stop living without discipline. Before I created the Ambition Planner, I had no clear plan for the day. I literally ran a multi-6-figure business and 7+ figures of those that I worked for on a hope that everything just worked out. I simply scattered my energy across multiple projects. I was highly reactive instead of being proactive. Because I didn't have a plan, I started a lot of things throughout the day, but I never finished a single one. And that caused me to live my life in a constant urgency mode. Whatever was in front of me was the most important. I didn't have a space to write it down, tab it for later, or a hierarchy of importance in the things that I needed to accomplish. And as women, we do this because we think that discipline is restrictive, even though it's actually the highest form of freedom. We confuse being busy with being productive. The busier I am, the more successful I will be, which is simply not true. And we don't take time to identify a system that works with our natural body rhythm. It was when I finally realized that discipline was not a form of punishment, but how I show love to my future self. The last habit that I had to burn to the ground, and I'm so grateful that I did, was seeking outside validation. I was in such a habit of doing what I thought I should do instead of what actually aligned with me. I was constantly seeking the approval of others, asking their opinions. How do you like this? Do you think I should do that? What would you think if I pivoted for the 4th time this year? I would ask the approval of people who did not matter or of people who would affect my life. Me trying to live the same life as that girl on Instagram was absolutely ridiculous. She didn't know who I was. She had no idea that I was chasing her level of perfection. And truth be told, her life was probably not as perfect as it seemed. I was trying to build a life that looked perfect on social media, but I felt completely empty inside. Because I wanted individuals to like me, I would say yes when my heart, my gut, and my spleen was saying no. This happens to the absolute best of us because society teaches us to be people pleasers. We are afraid of disappointing others. We weren't raised to trust our own judgment. But the truth is that, girl, the only approval that you need is your own. You liking it is enough reason to do it. You wanting it is enough reason to buy it. You enjoying it is the reason why you should show up and do it every single day. So I hope you're ready because I'm about to give you the blueprint on exactly how to rebuild a strong foundation after you have burned down all of your toxic habits. Foundation number 1 is that you are going to have to put your health first. This is your health, your well-being, your self-care. You are the foundation to all of your success. If you are sick, you can't go to work. If you are unwell, you cannot show up as your best and highest self. If you are not confident, you cannot close the deal, honey. You have got to establish a new standard. There's just a standard for how you live. This weekend, I was cooking with my mom, and I love watching her take the pot of pasta off the stove, put it in a colander, and rinse off the pasta. We were raised with a standard, and as small as it seems, it is just become a habit and a ritual that I absolutely live by. I can taste whenever you don't rinse off your pasta. And just like I have a standard when it comes to cooking, there are certain standards that you should have whenever it comes to rebuilding the foundation of your life. You have got to incorporate at least 15 minutes of movement into your daily activity. If it takes you buying a Labradoodle in order to go outside and walk that dog every day, so be it. You've got to hydrate your body. And I'm not talking about those 8 ounces that you use to swallow your high blood pressure pill. I'm talking about drinking at least half of your weight in ounces of water every single day. You have got to prioritize nourishment. It is not a flex to go all day without eating. Getting in your meals, eating a balanced diet, and being extremely mindful about how many calories you're taking in is imperative to the new foundation that you are building. And the last pillar on the health first foundation that you are building is that you got to go to sleep at night. I'm telling you, it is the cheat code to success. Your body has got to recharge. You have got to do whatever it takes to get in at least 8 hours of sleep every single night. Take some melatonin, download the Better Sleep app, have a little sip of red wine, or even some sleepy time tea. I don't care how you do it, but you have got to close your eyes and get the rest that your body deserves. When I shifted my mindset and I stopped treating my body as an inconvenience, my body showed up for me in ways that increased my dividends and my confidence. Foundation number 2 is planning and discipline. Discipline is not a bad word, honey. Having discipline is on the other side of absolutely everything that we desire. The body we want, the money we want, the man that we want, the children that we want to raise, the education that we want to obtain, the house that we want to buy is all going to take discipline in order to have. That is why I created the Ambition Planner. And if you have not already picked up your copy, girl, you need to click the link in my description or in the comment section and get your copy today. It is the system that you've been looking for that will change absolutely everything. And it starts with weekly planning. Every Sunday at 6 o'clock, an alarm goes off on my phone and it prompts me to start planning out my week. I've had a great weekend, I've turned up, and now it's time to get serious about having an even better Monday. I plan my week like a Fortune 100 CEO plans for their company. I want to go over my calendar and know exactly what to expect for the week. I want to revisit the things that I was not able to accomplish the week before and identify a specific day that I'm going to accomplish it. I'm checking in on my goals. I'm practicing gratitude. I'm writing down my 3 priorities for the day. And I'm setting time boundaries around the time it's going to take in order to achieve any task or priority that I have established. Because your girl can sit on a project for way too long. A task that should take me an hour can take me upwards of 3 because of my perfectionism. And because I've decided to burn her down, I set a timer and a time limit to how long I'm going to work on a single task. Again, this may be a system that you're not familiar with, a system that is going to help you to prioritize planning and organization. I have sold thousands of the Ambition Planners worldwide that have helped women build 6- and 7-figure businesses. And the best part about how much money these women have made because they have the planner has absolutely nothing to do with the financial budget that's inside. But it does have absolutely everything to do with the accountability, discipline, and organization that this planner offers. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but girl, writing those plans on your Post-its is not working. It's time to level up. Make sure that you take advantage of the exclusive offer and the promo code that I left in the description. Foundation number 3 that is possibly the most important is that I had to create a confidence ritual. Remind you, one of the toxic cycles that I was going through was people pleasing and seeking outside validation. So I had to create a ritual around building my own confidence. And that looked like prioritizing my morning skincare. It does not have to take 30 minutes in the morning to put on some toner, a quality serum, hydrating moisturizer, and some sunscreen. The simple act of prioritizing your skincare first thing in the morning triggers to your mind that you are worth the fuss. Watching yourself in the mirror in the morning going through that ritual is a mental indicator of the fact that you are worthy of using the products that you've already purchased on your skin, looking glowing, hydrated, and showing up as the woman that you are becoming. Now that your skincare is done, it's time to dress with intentionality. Your face is dewy and beat, and you're going to tell me you're going to walk in that closet and pull out some old raggedy leggings? So you're going to go in your closet and pop the tag off of that outfit that you've been saving for a special occasion. You are alive and well today, and that is special occasion enough. Now that your skin is glowing, you look absolutely amazing. It's time to affirm yourself and set healthy boundaries. Nothing's going to happen to you if you say no. You are the adult in your life. You run it. You are the only person that you have to answer to. You are going to start trusting yourself to make wise decisions, and you're going to do it with confidence. The reason that I say this is probably the most important step in the blueprint is because it has a ripple effect into absolutely everything in your life. I wake up excited about my day, full of energy, creativity, and renewed ambition. Because I now have structure, I know exactly what I'm working towards, and I'm building something that matters. I'm finally aligned with my purpose. I'm no longer just looking to impress someone else. And because I have burned down my old life and have built on a new, stronger foundation, I now attract individuals in my life to the woman that I am becoming and not the woman that I used to be. I no longer attract energy drainers. I no longer attract negative individuals. I no longer attract that girl who enjoys a pity party, who doesn't want to identify an action plan to be able to help herself. And I no longer attract individuals who are satisfied with doing the same old thing, the same old way. They're ready to level up. They're on a journey just like I am. They may not have all of the answers, but they're actively seeking the solution. Building this new foundation has some unexpected benefits, honey. I have literally 10x'd my income when I decided to reinvent my life. I make more money now because I have clarity. I go to sleep at night, therefore I have more energy. My relationships are better, specifically with my husband, because I'm more intentional and focused. And my sense of inner peace is unmatched. In the comment section below, I would love to know which one of your toxic traits you are burning to the ground. It no longer serves you and you do not want to revisit it at any point in your life. I want you to identify the system that is going to help you to break this cycle and create your own blueprint on building a firmer foundation. Now, the challenge is that once you've identified the foundation, I want you to actively work on building on that foundation every single day for at least 7 days. In 7 days, you're going to like the woman that you're becoming. You're no longer going to identify with the habits that you have burned to the ground. In 7 days, those habits may be smoldering, but there's nothing to come back to. You can't revisit your past because it no longer exists. But when I tell you, when Jazz said you had to burn it to the ground, that was the image that I needed to remind me of how much I've changed. I don't even remember the woman that I used to be. This is a journey and I'm always going to have to work on becoming better, but I'm not afraid of going back. It's not even a thought in my mind. I love the woman that I am and I cannot wait to meet my future self. Oh sis, I hope that you enjoyed this episode and that you feel inspired to build a stronger foundation that is going to serve you and change the lives around you. Sis, I pray that you are well and that you're doing something every single day to reach your most ambitious goals.